Good morning, everybody. 9th of March, 2025. It's almost 9 o'clock as well. Yesterday I should have, I don't know, it's not a congratulations, but I just should have mentioned it was International Women's Day. And, from men, I guess we have to let the ladies know that we appreciate them, of course, And it maybe depends on what kind of household you're in as well. But generally speaking, I think most all men can find something that they appreciate in women, any woman really. So, just wanted to say that. Also, let me put this over here. I think I'm silhouetted. Yeah, that's the sun over there. And there's not that much in big events or anything really great, fantastic news going on. I mentioned a lot of things yesterday, and it was quite important. Like I'm saying, there's still a lot of European involvement, at least European involvement in Ukraine. They still have a lot of soldiers, and apparently they're even increasing them, and it seems to be a trend that they do all the time. Oh, by the way, I should say, I think my phone is telling me that it's 0 degrees, but it's definitely below zero. There's ice on cars, and the grass is frozen as well. Not really deeply frozen. It's just probably a few degrees below zero. But you see the ice on the cars here. It almost looks like cracks on the windshield, but it's just ice. Okay, get that out of the way. But let's talk about whatever things are going on here. Even though it's not really earth-shattering things. I saw a video or two. I could even make videos just talking about philosophy. Philosophy is also very important about, trying to figure out these leaders and whatnot. Oh, let me also mention it's Sunday morning. And as you see, a lot of people aren't working. So if there's people normally picking up garbage, as you see, there's pieces of garbage, even here in Belarus. I don't know, the government might come after me for showing you that somebody threw some garbage here. A lot of time it's from these, I'll get up a little bit closer. Pigeons, not so much pigeons, but they have these gray colored crows here, and they go around and get in the garbage cans. There's one right over here, and they start pulling things out. They look for maybe somebody that didn't eat their shawarma. What is that in? I don't know. I don't know. Remember those in the United States? It's a I guess you might call them wraps, where it's wrapped. There's some meat inside maybe. It's some sort of a thing made of some type of bread or cornmeal, and there's one of those birds over there. I don't know. They're kind of shy. You can't get too close to them. But yeah, it's and anyway, they go into the garbage cans and pull everything out. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I'll just walk by some of these garbages right now and I'll show you. Originally I was thinking that Belarusians were doing that. I was thinking, how in the heck? Right near the garbage can, you guys don't even put your stuff in the garbage can. Instead, you're throwing it all around here. But that's not true. It's the birds that are doing it. Pesky birds. So let's get closer. Only people walking their dogs like this guy here. Completely, totally interested in me, Hardly here just seeing somebody vlogging. But see, here's some of the garbage. The birds get in here and they take this stuff all out. looking for goodies to eat. They already got this one. There's another one over here. I was going to sit down on one of these benches. Like I said, another guy with his dog. People are probably mostly men on Sundays. Since it was Women's Day yesterday, so the men are taking the dogs out instead of ladies. I don't know, sometimes you see ladies, sometimes you see men. So some other pesky bird must have been here, birds. Sometimes there's big groups of them throwing garbage. See, like this was a shawarma. I was just talking about shawarma. This is Papa Donor. And that's a famous thing that they like to go after, is that people might have thrown away something that was part of the donor. See, I have things figured out pretty good, as you say. Not just politicians, but also everybody else. Some kind of a guy here. Okay, let's talk about what's going on. There's trouble in Camelot. It looks like there's some sort of a dispute. It's probably going to blow over, I would think. But you remember I was saying I had some reservations a little bit about Mark Rubio, and Tulsi Gabbard certainly did. I think that's what before she was appointed to any position in the Trump cabinet, and now that she's National Security Advisor. But she was thinking, well, that's probably not a good move. You know, Marco Rubio, ha 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 ha. But he was actually doing pretty good until now, and I don't know. It might just be something coming out. Maybe he's now starting to exert himself a little bit better. He was doing pretty good with these negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, but what's going on now? I guess it's Elon Musk is telling him that he's not making the necessary cuts to the State Department, that there's way too many personnel, you know, so a lot of money is getting wasted there apparently. So if you've worked in government or even a lot of organizations, you know, you find out that at some point in time some job is created, you know, to do somebody some sort of favor. I mean, that happens all over, especially in government. It's like Paul Wolfowitz hired his wife on for doing something when he was what is he, the president of was it the World Bank or something? And you know, Paul Wolfowitz, he's one of the guys that engineered the Iraq War, and he was the one that wrote out the project for a new American century, you know, through that think tank, which is basically putting up a blueprint on how the United States will control the universe. You know, that's Richard Pearl and a lot of these other jokers. Who was that? What is it? What was the husband? What's his name of Victoria Nuland? You know, a lot of these guys are kind of faded out a little bit. You know, Victoria Nuland was playing the big role of, you know, spearheading all the overthrows of governments and things like that, like Ukraine. What do they call her? The midwife of the Maidan. You know, that, you know, and she passed out the cookies and said, F the EU, and she admitted on 2 occasions that the United States sunk $5 billion into the project of overthrowing the democratically elected government of Ukraine, or just basically gaining control of Ukraine, you know, and turning it into a puppet state proxy. You know, they did a good job of that. And on that tape, you know, she's saying how they're going to, she's talking with Jeffrey Pratt, I guess he was the ambassador at that time, maybe to Ukraine, saying how they're going to put their own people in. They're going to choose the government of Ukraine, and which it turned out they did. They took Yatsenyuk, and Yatsenyuk was kind of a poor guy. You know, he probably had less than I did, but now he is a billionaire. He's in the United States, and he's a billionaire. How did that happen? You know? And I was even speaking with somebody lately, you know. It's partly because what I was saying yesterday. This is kind of a chat video, it looks like to me, so I guess I'm going to be going into that. I don't have that much news really, so let's just talk about put some events in perspective. It's actually interesting to do this too. So yesterday I was talking about like Elon Musk being totally shocked that $12 trillion just disappeared from the Defense Department. And it's much like I was saying already before, that when he gets around to the Defense Department, it's going to be trillions. I didn't think it would be 12 trillion. As a matter of fact, he didn't either. Maybe he knew it was going to be a lot of money. But remember, again, I'll stress, Donald Rumsfeld, right before 9/11, a lot of people say that 9/11 happened when it did, to a certain extent. And well, actually what happened, I would say, Donald Rumsfeld announced the disappearance of, I think it was $3 trillion from the Defense Department. They just don't know where it went. Just unaccounted for. And I think that was the, you know, they said that on that day, and if you start to think that they knew that what was going to happen, that was going to kick off on September 11th, 2001, because that's also the same date. September 11th is when George Bush's daddy, George Bush the First, when he announced a new world order. It was on, I don't know what day was that. I think it was 1991, September 11th. And then so they kicked, you know, it's something strange about the dates that they choose. If you hear the bells, there's at different times they play traditional Russian songs. You might hear that in the background. Hope YouTube doesn't get me for that one too. But what was I saying? Oh, talking about Zelensky, you know? And then they have this disappearance of money. Somebody put online, and it's probably part of it as well, that a lot of that money might have disappeared into the into the space program. And, because that stuff costs a lot of money as well. But 12 trillion is just way too much money. Way too much money. And I was thinking, was she alluding to, I'm not sure if it was she. It was, what was it? Just Me. I think it was Just Me, the commenter. Why do I assume it was a woman? I don't know. Anyway, just guessing. But she was saying that maybe this went to these space program. You know how the United States can spend $350 for a hammer, $2,000 for a coffee pot, things like that. Just wasteful spending. A lot of corruption going on, of course, as well. Gosh, I don't even want to think about it. I don't know. Elon Musk, it's like I can't even imagine how he is finding this stuff as quickly as he is, because this seems to be something that would take a long time. I don't really know. I don't know how good his people are. I don't know how good you'd have to be. And how can, it's not like they're going to list this stuff and put it on paper. Oh, today we stole this much money. Today we paid this much for a coffee pot. Of course, a lot of time they do, and then they just rename it something else like a hammer will be an impact device or something like that. Yeah. Anyhow, but what I was also thinking, and remember when back in the days when we were having this Afghan war, and there were images and even videos of pallets filled with US money, lots of just in cash money, all wrapped in plastic, up to your stomach, just, I don't know what it is, $20 bills, $100 bills or whatever. Obviously, hundreds of millions at the very, very least. And that's just some that people recorded. And then you have to wonder how much stuff gets by that nobody actually records, and where this stuff goes. And a lot of regimes are getting that. And when sometimes some regimes collapse, they load their plane. I can't remember which leader that was. It wasn't even that long ago, and they loaded their plane with cash, with US dollars. It's like, what the heck, And but I'm still that 12 trillion is a lot of money. How can you possibly hide the effects, like I said yesterday, of $12 trillion? And that is just the submarine program. And then you have to wonder, well, what would inflation be like when they have corruption on such a level? And that's just one little program. That's incredible. And you have to wonder how many other trillions and trillions of dollars just from the Defense Department. Boy, this stuff is really shocking. It makes you really wonder why we are not paying $5,000 for a loaf of bread already. And it's beyond comprehension to figure out all the corruption of the money stolen and created and passed out, and nobody's accountable for it. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Damn birds. Look, here's another place over here. No, that's the same one I went. No, didn't even get close to that one. Some guy was there with his dog. Bunch of stuff with the birds took out. You might hear him in the background sometimes. There was one, there's one right over here. You probably can't see it. If I stay still, maybe you can see some movement. It's one of those crows. They have black wings and gray bodies. If I get close, he'll take off. Let's see. Oh, there's one sitting on the fence. Oh, there's a cat there too. A black cat. Probably looking for a good big chicken meal here. I might be able to get closer to the cat. But here's the bird, if you guys can see it. I never saw these in the States. I saw them in Germany as well when I was there. Strange crows. So, I love black cats. I have a black cat of my own. One day you'll see it in a video when I have a little bit further along in my renovation. Oh, looks like he has maybe a hurt eye. How's it going? Don't have any food. How you doing? Green-eyed black cat. I'm gonna be able to try to get a little closer look at it, but anyway. Okay, let's keep going with the news. Stop distracting me. Like I said, guys with their dogs all over the place here. Okay. Yes. Okay, well, part of this thing, I was talking about Marco Rubio and Elon Musk. Elon Musk is quite upset, so it's, as I said, it's trouble in Camelot. And one of the biggest problems that Rubio has and it's just coming out, and and it was that he did not like that Elon Musk is technically speaking, he's closing down the U.S. aid program. And remember, just what was it, a week or so ago, Billy Boy, the software engineer, the guy I'm not allowed to talk about, the guy into these medical things, of this problem we had, social distancing, lockdowns and all that. He's one of the ones involved in that. I'm afraid even to name his name. I don't, trying to not get completely taken off the air on YouTube, because they don't like me talking. They're watching me to make, me specifically. I'm not allowed to talk about certain things. So that's one of them. I don't even want to say the guy's name. I don't want to find out, because whenever I do, it's Ursula. I think I can say her name. Maybe I can say Billy Boy's name. I don't know. I don't know what context when they start taking me down from this. But anyway, so he went to Trump, Billy Boy, the software guy, and he was begging him, oh, don't close down USA. And of course, these guys get recipients. They get lots of money, and they're tied into old gorgeous George Soros. Normally, people in some circles, like on media, you can't talk about George Soros like on mainstream media. That's one thing you cannot talk about. So, but I can talk about it on YouTube. I guess it's maybe not taboo. But the Billy Boy, he's a big donor probably with Google. So, and he's definitely big into Google, and they're linked and all that. So it's one reason why Google likes me so much. But anyway, this U.S. aid program, because this was a huge conduit for passing out money all over the place, showering people and doing some dirty deeds and overthrowing governments. Even in Belarus here, it was very big. I think even Lukashenko was mentioning that not more than just a couple of days ago. And it goes, like to Radio Free Europe and to Voice of America, So that's where they stick a lot of money through. And the guy from the EPA, the head man, he's talking about how they were using the EPA, the environment, global warming, all that kind of crap. They're using that to funnel a huge amount of money to all kinds of different things as well. Maybe it doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with the environment, but it just sounds so rosy. Who would ever dare touch that money from there, because the global warming, we have to stop this. That's the number one threat on planet Earth, is global warming, not nuclear war, global warming. I can't even friggin' hold myself talking, thinking about all of the crap that they fill our brains with. It's like, we got to get rid of CO2. Billy Boy is really big into that too, the software engineer. He's really big into this big corruption scheme stuff. I guess when you have billions of dollars, you can start steering everything around. What is it, the WHO? I don't know, maybe I shouldn't talk too much about that. I'll get picked off, of YouTube. And and the medications. Matter of fact, I had a house, not livable in Germany, unless you want to stay in the summertime. I think I had running water in one place, very difficult. Anyway, but right near that house was that, I mentioned it in some videos, that there was this research facility, and they were the first ones that said that they came up with this treatment against the sickness that was going around in 2020 and 2021, and Donald Trump wanted to buy the place for, I think it was $1 million or something, and I don't know. Then it turned out maybe it wasn't so great. So other, actually the Russians came out with so-called cure. I guess none of these cures worked anyway. They're not even cures. I don't want to use them. You even use the word that starts with a V. I guess I'm chicken. So, but anyhow, but there was one of the places that Billy Boy he was invested in. I guess it was called BioNTech, and that's near Wiesbaden, Mainz, Wiesbaden, in that part of Germany, over in that area. What is it? Nearly an hour away, west of Frankfurt. Been there many times, and anyway, American bases there, American hospital. But there was, the facility was civilian, and it was like some Turkish guys, 2 guys or something, and they. It's not that they invented the first one. That was the first. That was for Pfizer. Oh, can I say that name even? And Pfizer, big donor for CNN and all this. Wow. You start looking at, connecting all these dots. It's incredible how things are. Things are, And I mentioned yesterday also, about maybe this video will be too long. Mentioned about Israel, you know, and they're kind of a separate thing, but they're also tied with a lot of this. And yeah, it's very strange. Connecting the dots, Israel actually, and I'll mention also, I saw this video today, and it was put out 2 days ago. It was Kim Iverson, and she was interviewing Jeffrey Sachs, and you know, they were also mentioning, you know, who runs. You know, it's like the U.S. runs the EU, and they did before. Now they're wondering, well, what do we do? What do we do? You know, we followed the plan. We followed the plan, and we hate Russia. We hate Russia like we're supposed to do, and we worship Zelensky. You know, oh, he looked at me. He looked at me. Oh, he walked in front of me. Oh, Zelensky, Zelensky. Oh, I'll never wash my hands again. Things like that. But it's different now, and you know, it's like, what do we do? We don't know how to have sovereignty. You know, it's like the EU is just messed up. Just put it that way. And yeah, Jeffrey Sachs, you know, had given the speech to the EU, and I talked about that before, and you guys probably already seen it. I put the link, I believe, in one of my videos. And yeah, but he was talking with Kim Iverson, and you know, that's mostly, you know, talking about you know, the sovereignty and telling. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So let's just finish up this other stuff here. I'll just finish a little bit what I was saying about Marco Rubio and Musk. You know, Marco Rubio said he had total control over U.S. aid, and that possibly could be why he's upset with Musk. You know, because maybe he wants to keep it and he control it, or whatever. Maybe Billy Boy or some other people went and talked to him and encouraged him, because maybe he's working for them more than he's working for Trump in certain areas. These people are all for sale in a lot of ways. It depends on the politicians, I guess. Just like Trump, he's doing everything very good in a lot of ways, maybe domestically in the United States, maybe in Europe, a lot of that approach, but in the Middle East, forget it. It's terrible. Putin is now talking, strongly indicating that he is actually going to be the one, not he himself, but Russia is going to be the ones that dictates the terms of the peace in Ukraine. So what's going to happen there, obviously, is they're going to stick to their plan. It's going to be, I don't know exactly what he calls denazification, but it's disarmament, no NATO for Ukraine and whatever. But like I said, the question that I have in my mind is how are you going to reconcile what may happen in the future unless Russia actually has something to say about what happens in Odessa, maybe Kharkov, and all these other, which are Russian regions, Russian people are there. And if you have like these Nazis, because I don't think it's possible to denazify Ukraine. I don't think it's possible at all. And so these people, eventually they're going to come up and start, maybe even it'll be a provocation, start killing ethnic Russian people. A lot of them don't care who they kill. It's very bad what's going on in the world, and I'll get to Syria in a minute too. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. But okay. Yes, Syria. I mentioned Syria. Lots and lots and lots of killing. I mentioned yesterday about them going after Christians. You know, that Christians were a big target. And there was a guy, he put out a video. I don't know if I can put that link up or whatever. It wasn't on YouTube. It was on a channel, and it might be affiliated with Sputnik. So even if I put it up, maybe it will be blocked. I don't know. But it's a guy, and he said in the town he is in, a pretty large sized town, they have terrorists going through and just randomly killing lots and lots of people. More so, they're killing women and children, more so than even the men. And he's scared. He said, they can kill me. I am not that concerned, but my mother and my 2 sisters, you know, and he's actually pleading. He said on a video, and he's pleading with the entire world. He said, the United States, the United Nations, anybody, stop this. It's not what they're telling you in the mainstream media. This is very bad here, and they're just going around and killing and killing and killing. Lots of these gangs and things like that. like I said yesterday too, I don't know much about what's going on in Syria, and it's a big mess there. And I can tell you, you can be rest assured that Israel is involved in very much of this stuff. They always have been, and very much so. And I was thinking, there's Turkey on one side, and this leader, maybe Turkey backed him, this guy that's supposedly in charge of Syria. I don't really know, because this guy, he seems to let Israel take whatever Israel takes, what they want, and there's no opposition whatsoever to Israel. Maybe it's because he doesn't have the power to do that. And they're going around supposedly killing, there's like the Syrian army and this, and a lot of killing. It's probably much worse than what's going on in Ukraine, is what's in Syria. But like I said, or like this guy said, is what I'm saying, and I'm getting the indication that a lot of this is blocked in the media. It's really nasty killing going on, and I said a lot of it already in my video yesterday, so I don't want to get more into what I know. Over these years, we know what's going on there. Yeah, but I think in like the Kursk region and those places there, Ukraine is killing the men, but for some reason in Syria and all that, maybe they're killing the women. Why? I have no idea. What, atrocities. And also, I saw some video. I saw most of it. It was a German girl, and she's putting out. She's bringing up again, I don't know why, maybe it's an anniversary of what was going on, I don't really know, but she's talking about this thing about Bucha, when Ukraine, and it's just like what, Vance is no dummy. It's like when they had this little spat with Zelensky in the White House, and have you been to Ukraine? And I don't know I can't remember what Vance said. Basically, I don't have to go to Ukraine. And it's, Vance mentioned the propaganda tours, and this whole thing with Bucha. It was nothing but a big fraud. All these leaders, or these people that went there, they were already big supporters from Ukraine. It doesn't matter what they would have been shown. They would have come and said, oh, it's horrific what Russia's doing. These are all paid shills anyway. And I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard that Angelina Jolie, for example, I'm not even sure. Somebody said she got like $3 million to come out in support of the Ukraine. So a lot of that money, the billions that are dumped into Ukraine, I guess we can find out, that a lot of it went to Sean Penn and to Angelina Jolie, all of these people. And who's the guy that, Danny Trejo? Makes you wonder if he got paid too. He kind of was, he's like kind of wanted to bow out of that. I don't know. I think he was acting like he was pro Zelensky too, and I don't really know. Did he get paid? Some people said he did back then, and he said no, he didn't. I don't know. But a lot of people, a lot of these celebrities got paid a lot of money, and that's turned out to be an obvious fact now, that they actually got paid a lot of money. So, and Angelina Jolie, she's like very pro-Israel, and she's also got access to things that only CIA agents get access to. Everybody knows about that one, and there was some crazy crap. Don't even want to talk about it. Yeah. Okay. And what else? Let's talk. I already talked about those troops and British troops, especially a lot of troops, and they said a lot of dead British troops. When they Russia bombed this place in which was former Russia. It was invaded by Ukraine. We thought Ukraine alone, but it looks like I said, a lot of Western soldiers involved in that too, into the Kursk region, into Russia. Yes, okay, I was talking about Jeffrey Sachs. He was talking also about Syria and all. He didn't talk about the slaughter there. Jeffrey Sachs, I like him a lot. He knows what's going on. But he was saying all of these conflicts in the Middle East, all of this has to do with Israel and the United States. It's Israel wants the United States, which they are. They are the military of Israel. And I keep saying in my videos, I don't really know what is going on, but you have to wonder, well, who is really in charge? Is it Israel or is it the United States? And Israel brags and they laugh about how they control the United States. Jeffrey Sachs was saying foreign policy in that region or whatever, but there's even a lot of domestic things that they're in control of. And remember back when Bill Clinton was having his little thing with Monica Zelensky and all that, and they had the transcripts, and I guess it was put on in the courts, and it's in the official transcripts that Bill Clinton was telling Monica Lewinsky to be careful what she says on the telephone. A foreign government is listening to our telephone conversations, and he meant Israel. And it's a known fact. It's not Russia, it's Israel. Israel, you know, and they talk about like Five Eyes sort of, you know, weird stuff. But anyway, there's this thing where Israel has access to virtually listening to on any phone calls in the United States. Oh, jeez. And now the NSA, you know, like what they were talking about, they have that big base now that's in Utah, and they can monitor everything, all emails, all telephone calls, everything all over the world. So I don't know if they can encrypt things or decrypt things that are encrypted. And of course now it's been put out just, I don't know, maybe it was weeks ago, that they have all the codes for Apple, so they can decrypt, or whatever the word is, everything that everybody says on Apple phones, and you think you're sending your messages, and that nobody can read them, you know, from end to end. But it's not true now. That's known. So yeah, Jeffrey Sachs, a lot of time he likes to talk about, you know, General Wesley Clark, who was the commander of NATO. And General Wesley Clark, actually he was not under the payroll of the United States anymore, when he's talking about how they, you know, he got from the Pentagon that the United States planned on invading 7 countries, having a military, you know, like wars, starting 7 wars. And apparently they've gone to war with all of the countries, you know, partly even through Israel, you know, like, I don't know, you got to look at them as a team. They're just linked at the hip, Israel and the United States. And that's what I said. You know, how are these people tied together? Why are they doing this? Whatever. Anyway, the wars are all for Israel anyway. But the last one, I guess the one that's still left, is Iran. They haven't yet started a war with Iran. And Jeffrey Sachs says he doesn't think there will be a war against Iran, that Trump is not going to do this. And of course, it's been prevented all this time. I think the United States realizes that if they go to war with Iran, that's going to do tremendous, tremendous harm to the United States. You know, it's not like they could probably even win. I don't think they can really even beat Iran. You know, it comes down to, oh, is somebody going to formally surrender or not? Or, you know, look at Zelensky. He's lost. He lost a long time ago, but he's not going to give up. You know, like they say, fight to the last Ukrainian. Boy, you know. And I guess Boris Johnson was idolizing that fight to the last Ukrainian, just like Lindsey Graham. I don't know how many people. Yeah, let's do it. Let's fight till they're all dead. That's in a sense what they're saying. Let's get all of the Ukrainians dead. That'll be one mission. And, you know, and at the same time, we'll be reducing the amount of Russians, and maybe we'll even just drop some nuclear bombs to get rid of the rest of the Russians. Or I don't know. But then how are they going to get the resources when everything's contaminated? So that's probably the only thing that's stopping them from already of doing that. You never know these guys. But anyway, Wesley Clark was saying that, I guess, before 9/11. I think it was in 1999, it says here. I remember him saying it afterwards as well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. There's not really so much news going on. And like I said, it's talking about this fake butcher, and a lot of people, you know, they put this stuff out, and they put it out like an explosion all over the place. You know, Russia killed all these people when they were pulling out of Butcha, you know, and they make you believe that. And then when the real truth comes out, people just don't accept it, because how they do it, they create a paradigm for you. Russia's evil, this sort of thing. And then so, oh, it makes sense. Russia killed all those people, all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't really matter what happens consequent to that, you know. So when you start hearing the real truth, and even if the proof is given to you, you will deny the very nose on your face. You know, like, what do they call that? It's a psychological term, and a lot of people were using it a few years ago. It was well, like being hypnotized while you're awake. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to kick myself for not remembering that word. But, well, you'll deny everything because you're living in the matrix. I'm not talking about you people watching this video, but everybody. It's a society sort of a deal. I mean, we all are to a certain extent anyway. And it's very, very difficult to shrug that stuff off. And most of everybody that watches these programs, at least when I'm putting out, and a lot of the other people that tell the truth, you know, at least we've been able to shrug off all the crap that we've been indoctrinated with from all that time anyway. And even being kids, you know, I pledge allegiance to the flag, and it's like, it doesn't mean you hate America if you know that you've been indoctrinated into a bunch of crap, you know. But you know, and it's actually, in my case, I'm feeling a lot more pride again when you have some people in the government, you know, in the Trump administration, you have this Kash Patel, these people that have a tremendous respect for the truth. It's absolutely fantastic, you know, because for a long time the United States has stood for the lies, manipulations, and everything bad. And now, you know, for the most part, they're starting to look for good things. And even if I'm not in agreement with what Trump is doing in the Middle East, you know, virtually going along with Israel, kicking all these people out of their homes in Gaza and everything and taking it over, they're not going to be allowed to come back. Oh, they can come back if they want. Yeah, if you have like $1 million to buy one of the new little townhouses or whatever the heck that they're making there, that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullcrap too. But I don't know. So that's very bad. It's not killing them, but it's an evil thing to be doing, nevertheless. And Netanyahu, oh, they say, oh, the United States will own the place. That's, you know, I don't think so either. Obviously, it's right there. At some point in time, Israel knows that they're going to manipulate the United States. They run the United States, so they're going to get it at some point in time. It's going to be a free gift. They're going to say, oh, we're selling it to you for this much amount of money or whatever the deal. It's just like all these fake loans that they give to Israel that Israel never has to pay back. They give them billions and billions. And it's like, so, you know, if we're losing $12 trillion in a submarine program that never happened, you know, oh, what's $5 billion every year for Israel? Or no, they get the $4 billion guaranteed, and sometimes about $5 billion that's not guaranteed that they get to Israel anyway, that they never have to pay back. Anyway, get myself upset here. So everybody, I thank you for joining me, and it's a Sunday. I hope your day is going good. Let those ladies relax because they had Women's Day yesterday, and you probably forgot it. I don't think we celebrate that so much in the U.S. I don't remember it anyway, and it looks like it's a big thing over here. I'm looking at some of the little garbage or stuff like that sitting around here. It's not from those birds. Probably some drunk guy. Normally you find people that were drinking or something. It's maybe a little bit too cold, but there's nobody hanging around. And I think a lot of time you would see somebody here. Like sometimes you go by this bench and there's some lady and a guy sometimes sitting there, both somewhat drunk, and I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know if they're looking for a third. I don't want to be involved in it, as you know. So anyway, again, thanks for joining me. Have a nice rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one whenever that is. Thanks again. Bye-bye.